If a road repair needs to be done on a short cord, you'll notice that you will see that there's a lot of burnt up pieces inside of the cable. This indicates it definitely needs to be repaired. All bit of warped insulation needs to be replaced. So it's best to cut off at the highest point to eliminate all bad wiring. Before cutting my insulation, I'm going to make sure I'm cutting enough back in full length and using the plug as a reference to measure back. And then I will also go an inch more to make sure you have plenty of room to cut off any damaged wiring and have enough to wire in the new plug. So we'll rock the knife over. You do not want to cut all the way through and damage any of the inside wire. So it's been done. You can split it open. With our wire stripped back, we can begin to undo the plug. We'll slide the base of our plug over our wires. All the way up to the main insulation. You can line up how much wire you'll need to cut off by measuring to this point. So towards where the front of the plug pops out, you can cut off this amount of wire. This will also, as you can see, this wire is damaged from heat all the way back. All this insulation is hardened and hard to strip. Now, when wiring the plug, we'll pull this portion out and you will grab a 9/16 Allen key and begin stripping your wires to the length that's needed to put them in the terminals. So I can mark all the way back to the tip of that plug where that wire needs to be cut. Same for the rest. If you need to pull this back, you can, give you better leverage, and be very careful when cutting the wires not to fray any of the copper. Make sure none of the copper is cut and no strands are loose. When wiring in your new plug, it's important to have your old plug so you can compare where every wire goes. Green will obviously line up to green. White will line up to white. X will line up to black, and red will line up to Y. These two terminals may vary from plug to plug. As long as these two are in place with black and red, green and white will always be marked. No matter what plug you use, they'll always be marked. So we'll start by making sure all these are loose. We'll start with green, making sure the wire's twisted and no fraying of the wire before you put in. Loctite will help keep the cord and the terminal connections from corroding and also backing out. Won't take very much, just a little drop. 5/32 Allen, and then tighten up and go snug. Do not over torque these nuts. Just snug to where the wire is fixed securely in place. Then notice there is no copper showing on any of these wires when they're secured in place. And check connection, pull hard, make sure the wiring is good. And then we'll assemble our plug. And for this portion, you'll make sure none of the insulation is exposed, so that way you have stability on your wire.